Good morning, Nova Scotia. I'm Dan Budgell, and here's the Lighthouse Local for Tuesday, August the 18th. Here's what's happening across the province this morning, from the stories making headlines to weather, traffic, sports, and what's happening in your community. Nova Scotia Energy Minister Marco McLeod is facing calls to resign after rap lyrics he recorded more than a decade ago resurfaced online. The lyrics have been criticized by women's advocates and political opponents as misogynistic and harmful. McLeod apologized over the weekend, saying he does take responsibility for the words and is committed to opposing misogyny. The Progressive Conservatives Caucus says he will remain a member of the Government Caucus. Opposition New Democrat leader Claudia Chender has called for McLeod to explain whether he still holds the views expressed in the music and what steps he is taking to address the harm caused. Adsum House for Women and Children also have called for his resignation. The province is also putting more than $800,000 into the emergency preparedness across Nova Scotia. 12 regional emergency management organizations are receiving funding for projects that include better emergency communications, additional emergency management staff, training, office space, and updated emergency plans. The funding comes through the Regional Emergency Management Organization Capacity Grant Program and is intended to help communities prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. RCMP are continuing to investigate a serious crash in West Chesapeake involving a motorcycle and a car. Police say the collision happened Sunday afternoon. A 43-year-old motorcycle driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A child passenger on the motorcycle suffered life-threatening injuries and was taken to hospital by Lifeline. The driver of the car was treated at the scene and released. RCMP are asking anyone who witnessed the collision or has dash cam footage to contact the Halifax Regional Detachment. And in Yarmouth County, an Ontario man is facing several firearms-related charges following an incident at a campground near Melbourne. Police say campers were evacuated after officers received reports of a man threatening people and saying he had firearms. RCMP say the man later came out of his trailer and was arrested. Officers seized 3 loaded shotguns and a loaded rifle. An update now to the beach advisories we told you about last week. Nova Scotia Provincial Park says the swimming advisories at both Lawrencetown Beach and Rainbow Haven Beach have been lifted following satisfactory water retests. Swimming had been discouraged because of elevated bacteria levels. Now to the weather. Environment Canada is calling for a wet and unsettled Tuesday across much of Nova Scotia. In Halifax, expect showers with a risk of thunder showers late this morning and this afternoon. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain is possible with a high near 25, cooler along parts of the coast. Across Lunenburg, Queens, Shelburne, Yarmouth, and Digby counties, showers are expected with 10 to 15 millimeters possible and a high near 25, again cooler along the coast. In the Annapolis Valley, Kings, and Hants counties, start cloudy with a chance of showers before more widespread showers develop this afternoon with a high around 25. For Truro, Pictou, and Antigonish, showers develop this morning with a risk of thunder showers this afternoon and as well a high near 25. And in Sydney, much of central and southern Cape Breton, expect mainly cloudy skies with showers developing, a risk of an afternoon thunder shower, and a high around 22. For traffic this morning, there are several construction zones worth keeping in mind. On Old Sackville Road between Downsview and Walker Avenue, stop-and-go traffic is expected from 9 this morning until 4 this afternoon for repairs. In Bedford, Union Street is reduced to one-way outbound towards the Bedford Highway from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. There is no access to Union Street from the Bedford Highway while the work is underway. The Seal Island Bridge in Victoria County is down to one lane through Thursday, with work taking place from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Highway 102 in Enfield, traffic may be reduced to one lane in both directions between exits 7 and 8 while crews work on the median. In sports, the Halifax Mooseheads training camp gets underway tomorrow in Dartmouth as the club begins preparing for the 26-27 season. The Mooseheads are scheduled to open their preseason Friday night against the Cape Breton Eagles. In Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays are in Tampa Bay tonight to open a series against the Rays. First pitch is scheduled for 7:40 Atlantic time. And there are plenty happening around Nova Scotia this week. The Annapolis Valley exhibition is underway in Lawrencetown and runs through Saturday. This is the exhibition's 99th year with agriculture, livestock, live music, a midway, motorsports, food, and family events throughout the week. In Wedgeport, the annual tuna tournament and festival continues today. Participating boats are scheduled to leave the Wedgeport Breakwater Wharf this evening as the fishing portion of the tournament does get underway. And the Wild Blueberry Harvest Festival is underway across central Nova Scotia, running through August the 30th with community events, farmers markets, and plenty of local blueberry food and drink along the way. That's your Lighthouse Local for Tuesday, August the 18th. Lighthouse Local is proudly sponsored by Sackville Driving School, the road to your driving success. Visit sackvilledrivingschool.ca. For more local news, community stories, and updates from across the province, visit lighthouseradio.ca. And take Lighthouse Radio with you anywhere. The Lighthouse Radio app is available on iOS, Android, and Alexa connected devices. I'm Dan Budgell. Thank you for listening, and have a great Tuesday, Nova Scotia.